Welcome, I'm Michael Pendergrass. On this episode of Time to Adopt, I want to talk about talking to your children at their level. Have you ever thought of that when you're talking to your children? Think about it for a second. When we are usually talking to our children, especially when they're younger, we're much taller than them. I mean, my youngest son's probably 5'6". 5'6". My oldest is 5'8". I'm a little bit taller, but there's always a height difference when I'm talking to them. And now think to when it's a serious issue. Maybe when you were younger, did you look up to your mom or your dad? Did you ever feel that you were the lesser of the two because having that standing position, your mom, your parenting figure, was the one in control? For most of you, the answer on that is probably yes. Now I want you to think about children that have been in foster care, especially those that have been in foster care for a long time. They've always, at one point or another, had someone towering over them or towering. Someone that is always looking down on them. Their whole lives, they feel like they are looked down at and or lesser because they are foster kids. They're wards of the state. Now I want you to think about a child that has been abused by their parents. Almost in every situation where there's abuse, the abuser is the one with the power and has that appearance of being bigger and threatening to the child. Now let's fast forward. Let's fast forward and you are in the process of adopting that child. How do you go about talking to them? Do you tower over them when you're telling them to do the dishes, to do whatever task or chore it might be? What about when they get in trouble? They don't follow the rules that you've set up. Do you tower over them? The reason I ask this, and this is something I learned firsthand from my children, especially with my youngest, but it also works for my oldest, is my youngest has been one of those that has had someone in authority over him for his whole life. And early on, when we tried to have conversations with him about the few things that he had done wrong or things that he'd seriously done wrong, we always took the position of being taller than him. Whether he was sitting on his bed and we're standing up talking to him, or maybe he was on the couch in the living room and one of us, me usually, was still standing over while he sat. Our eye levels weren't the same. It was instead him having to look up. How do you think he responded? The answer is he didn't. He had no response whatsoever to what I was telling him. He could have cared less. Was he being defiant? Absolutely not. But one thing that my son said that I really have a lot of appreciation for now is that he did not respect me because I did not respect him. Okay, what's the logic behind that? Then I got to thinking one day, being a connoisseur of watching nonverbal communication, I decided when I needed to have a conversation with Tyler, I was no longer going to be the one towering over him. I actually sat on the floor in his bedroom, and Tyler was now the one looking down at me, and I looking up to him. And we're having a conversation. How do you think that conversation went compared to when it was reversed? The answer is it went a lot better. At that point, I was no longer the one towering figure over talking down to him. Now, if anything else, Tyler could talk down to me a little bit or talk to me at his level and tell me how he was feeling. Because before, I couldn't get anything. But now I was starting to make some way with him. Now, did it happen all at first? No. But I saw the difference. And that's why I bring it up in this episode is if you are struggling to communicate with a child that you are fostering to adopt, what level are you talking to them at? Because in additional conversations, I mentioned this to his mom, and we both sat down at a lower level than Tyler while we were talking to him. And slowly over time, Tyler opened up more and more and more to us than when we were towering over him. So think about that in the future. Give your children the power by letting them tower over you, just even if it's for a little bit. Let them feel like the grown-up in the room. See how your communication level changes as you listen and ask those questions of your child. I can guarantee it's going to be a lot better than if you continue to just tower over them. Thank you so much for watching this episode. If you liked what you've seen, please like and share. Put comments down in the comments section. And again, reach out to your local adoption agency, Health and Welfare. They have all kinds of information that can help you be informed as you move forward on your adoption journey. Thanks for watching.